What's up, guys? It is I, once again, Joseph Cohen Mason, at your service. And today, guys, I want to talk about and review a movie which I've just seen with my bros. And it took some time to make this review because I was tired, I was very ill, and I was kind of exhausted, but let's get straight to it. Today I want to talk about and review Joss Whedon's The Avengers Age of Ultron, the sequel to his past Avengers movie, which he also wrote and directed. And the movie brings back an entire cast from the previous film and from the previous Marvel films. That includes Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, Samuel Jackson, and some new members of the cast that includes Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson. And this movie tells the story of the Avengers, who are now a family in a unit, and how during one of their missions a lot of casualties happen, and Tony Stark, Iron Man, wants to prevent any more casualties from happening, so he takes a scepter from the base they were raiding and uses the scepter, which has a sort of stone within that has immense power. He unlocks a sort of new AI, artificial intelligence computer, using this scepter he collected, and he wants to create a new life form, a new computer with a mind, emotion, and feeling of its own. Hence the AI program he's trying to create. And he calls this Ultron, which he's been developing with Bruce Banner, aka the Hulk. And things go crazy after during a party at Tony's home. The AI becomes fully alive. It takes over Jarvis, Tony's butler and AI, like his computer buddy, and it starts to take over a lot of the computers around the world. It starts to form a lot of these robots and machines, take over every network around the world, and it's hell-bent on trying to save it, as he says, and trying to bring a new age to the world, and trying to destroy it and trying to rebuild. Hence the title of the film, Age of Ultron. And the plot's kind of hard to talk about, guys, but honestly, I have never been good at explaining plots to any movies, but that's just me personally. But this movie, besides the very complicated plot, is a really awesome film I love a lot. It has every kind of superheroes you love in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which have been building up to this point. That includes Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, Captain America, Black Widow, like Hawkeye, and Nick Fury, and Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and oh my god, guys, this movie has an array of superheroes you will never see coming, because there's one here, character in this film, I don't want to spoil how he appears, but it's a big shock in the end. And guys, this character is so awesome. I went to a deep discussion with my brothers about the story of Age of Ultron and how it all connects into the next Avengers movie in Phase 3, and how the third Avengers film will play out, because a lot of things will happen in the future Marvel films. A lot of things, especially after the end of Age of Ultron. But I love the way the story is building up. And this movie has a lot of great things I love about it. From the performances, to the comedy, to the action. Oh my god, the action is so epic, so cool. The visual effects is outstanding. Joss Whedon's direction is really brilliant, guys. He understands set pieces, action set pieces, interaction between his actors, and as they play their characters, and how they form a family, a team, which is the Avengers, and how they began to really become a unit by the end, and how their interaction aren't just like, dramatic, aren't just like a conflict and argument back and forth. No, they actually have a sense of humor. They do actually interact like normal people would. They party like normal people, and they also like to just have fun, and that's the thing I love about this movie. You can actually have fun with the characters. It's so cool and so awesome. Every character is full of life, like Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Bruce Banner, and like Captain America, Steve Rogers, and Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, and a lot of these characters, guys, are full of depth. And oh my God, we actually get a backstory and more character development for Hawkeye. Clint, I think his name's Clint Barton, yeah, Clint Barton. He gets a backstory, and we get a lot more to his character than we got in the past movie. In this movie, he's a real character, a real person. I love Jeremy Renner's performance as this character. Every character are full of depth, and one of my two favorite characters. Actually, two of my favorite characters of this entire movie has to be the twins, the Maximoff twins, what are the names? Wanda and Peter Maximoff, who are also known as Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. Twins who love each other and are overprotective of each other and have their unique abilities. Quicksilver is known in the Marvel comics as having a heightened speed. He's super fast, super hasty, and Scarlet Witch is able to use magic and able to control people's minds, and she can also use telekinesis, and it's so awesome, guys. Now, Quicksilver was added in the past. Quicksilver was a character in X-Men Days of Future Past, the X-Men universe, not the Marvel universe. X-Men and the Marvel characters in this movie are part of the same universe, but they're told in different takes. They're like their own universe at this point, and Quicksilver is his own character in this movie, like he was in Days of Future Past. In Days of Future Past, he was played by Evan Peters, and I personally love Evan Peters as Quicksilver. He was funny, charming, hilarious, and he was the kind of guy I relate to. This character in this movie, Quicksilver, isn't bad, but he's not exactly as full of life the way Evan Peters Quicksilver was, and Aaron Taylor Johnson does like a good job with the character of Quicksilver. I actually like him, but I love and adore Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch. She was scary, badass, very like protective of her brother, and I love how her character. I love how she evolved as a character, and I love her character arc by the end. She's such an awesome character I love. And another female badass in the Avengers, which is so cool, guys. And I also love every other character in this movie, like Hulk, guys. I always related to the Hulk character. I love Bruce Banner as the Hulk because I have a high temper sometimes. That's my dog, by the way. It's my dog Misty. But I have a really high temper that I can lose my cool in an instant like this. And I relate to Bruce Banner and how he can't control that temper of his sometimes. And I also love the fact that both Bruce Banner and Natasha Romanoff, both of them are actually like having their own. They start to form a bond with each other that. They start to form a bond with each other that makes that's very like, you know, sweet and very it's their bond together they form is very sweet. At the same time, it adds a lot of weight to the film and how much you know what they're faced with. And I love the fact that like Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow, has like a love depth in this movie. So we see her backstory when she was a little girl and how she was trained to be an assassin and to kill with no feelings or remorse whatsoever. And guys, I'm feeling a bit distracted right now because my dog Missy's barking. I'm sorry about that, but basically, this movie has a lot of great moments, character moments. Besides the bond between the romantic bond between like Natasha Romanoff and Hulk, we also get some more interaction between Captain America and Iron Man, which is so cool, guys. Steve Rogers and Tony Stark had this kind of rivalry with each other. Tony's a genius. Steve Rogers is like an idealist, and they both have their view on the world and how justice should be served. I love the way it's going to be brought up once again in Captain America Civil War, the third Captain America film, which should be awesome. And what Joss Whedon does great out of all the great performances in this movie, out of all the great story itself, the great visuals, the great action, the comedy, the drama, the weight of the film, Joss Whedon is able to create characters who are real, honest, and fully realized. He's able to make us care about these characters despite the insanity that goes around. And oh my god, guys, I have to talk about Ultron. Ultron, the character of Ultron, this AI supercomputer who is played by he's voiced by James Spader, and the character of Ultron has the exact same expression, facial expression, and like mannerism the way James Spader has. James Spader managed to play Ultron and give him some humanity, a strong sense of humanity, and give him a lot of humor, a lot of like. Surprisingly, my little brother and I felt bad for Ultron by the end. Even though that, you know, I understand he's a crazy like computer who wants to destroy the world, but even so, I felt bad for him. I really do feel bad for Ultron, and James Spader adds a lot to this character besides his emotion, his physical gestures like that. He's able to really bring a lot of humanity to this character, and that's what I'm looking for in a good villain. A villain who's actually a real person, or at least someone full of humanity, not someone who's like, yes, we are evil, we're evil. No, I don't like that kind of villain at all. I want a villain who's actually a person who doesn't want to do things for the hell of doing things, and bad things I mean. He's the kind of character, a villain I love in a movie like this, especially a big action blockbuster film like this. And guys, in the end, the Avengers Age of Ultron is building out something bigger, and it brings back the team, the Avengers team, and shows us why they are Earth's mightiest heroes. And it's going to be so awesome to see the Avengers return in phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which should be awesome. And guys, honestly, by the end, I was cheering, I was having so much fun, and I was just excited, guys. I was like, woohoo! Yeah, baby! This movie is awesome, guys. I highly recommend you watch The Avengers Age of Ultron. I wasn't able to nail every point in this movie, the positives and negatives, besides the fact I didn't like Quicksilver all that much, and besides the fact that there are some moments in the movie which I find kind of like, you know, it's kind of like silly, the comedy at times. The comedy is good, but at times it can be silly. But overall, this movie has a lot of heart, a lot of soul, cool action, a great villain in Ultron, who's played very well by James Spader, who I love. I love him in Blacklist as well, the show Blacklist. I can't wait to see the Avengers return and the Avengers Part 3. And oh my god, guys, what's going to happen at the end of Part 3? It's going to be, the Avengers Part 3, it will be awesome, guys. It will be awesome. Big things will happen. Big things will happen. Well, guys, thank you for watching. I had some interruption with Misty, my dog, barking like that. But I hope that you enjoyed this review. Thank you for watching. Give a thumbs up if you like. Until next time, peace out, take care, adios, amigos, and au revoir.